Good evening and welcome to Tbfs 3, the third in our weekly podcast series. This is your host, Amy and
Ryan.
Hello guys, nice to speak to you tonight.
Nice to see you nice.
Well, seeing and everything, yeah.
Well, yeah, but by seeing we mean hopefully you're listening to this.
Exactly.
So we're going to start off today's podcast with a few series of quick-fire questions. And it's going to get a little bit intense because, you know, that's what we do it. We like to be intense because we're campers. Bad joke. Right. What do you think of Greta Thunberg?
She's a gremlin. Oh right, you mean what do I think of her in general?
Yes, what do you think of her in general?
I think she's a phony and a fake.
Oh, she's a phony and a fake. And why do you think she's a phony and a fake?
Because she's propped up by the UN.
Ooh.
She doesn't know what she's talking about. She goes through the same thing over and over again. It'd be alright if she knew what she was talking about, but she don't.
No. And is that backed up by scientific facts?
Well, it's hers backed up by scientific facts.
Dr. Amy, is it? Is it? I've got to admit, I have to agree. She's definitely propped up by somebody. There's definitely an agenda going on. Is it an Agenda 21, perhaps?
Talking about Agenda 21. This is your department, Ryan.
Well, yeah, I think this whole Agenda 21 thing is kind of coming into play now. From a conspiracy theory point of view, it's coming into play, the whole population control. And I don't just mean like snuffing people off, I mean the control of the population, you know, keeping people inside and social distancing and closing pubs and bars and distancing people away from each other. That all plays into the government's hands. The very people that are supposed to serve you and me, the people we elect, are now telling us to stay indoors.
Do you think this is like some kind of test, maybe?
Yeah, this is definitely a test
For
to see if we'll.
things?
Yeah, this is a test to see if we'll do what we're told in times of social unrest. It's like a huge scale test, if you will, across all the world. Yeah, all the governments are testing us to see if we'll do as we're told. You know, will you be a good little worker ant, and will you stay indoors if you're told to? Now, a lot of people aren't, and a lot of people are resisting this, and a lot of people are getting arrested for allegedly spreading coronavirus. But I'm yet to meet anyone who actually suffers or has suffered from this alleged disease.
Well, the celebrities obviously have it, so are they in on it?
I mean, I don't know.
The Illuminati and all that.
I'm not trying to play it down or anything, but you know, some doctors, the information is so misleading at the moment because you've got two different types of it. It's fluid. It's constantly changing. 1 minute you've got someone saying, "Oh, it's no worse than flu, than seasonal flu," and then you've got someone else saying, "Oh no, it's much worse." I think I'm not a doctor and I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but I know there's definitely more to this whole locking down scenario than just some virus, because never in the history of man have they reacted the way they're doing now. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Now, I'm not a doctor, I don't know the answer to that, and I'm sure you would agree.
I do, yeah.
If it is as bad as it is, I apologise, and anyone currently suffering with the symptoms that they're saying it has, and anyone who has any elderly relatives or anything like that,
Keep an eye on
keep
them.
them safe, because
Shop for them.
maybe the government's right. You know, we're looking after our 80 to 83-year-old grandma.
Yeah.
We're doing the same thing as a precautionary measure. We're following all the precautions, but do I necessarily believe that it's as bad as what they're saying it is? I guess time will tell. Maybe I'll be wrong. So, on a slightly brighter note, while we're on the subject of actors, if I had to ask you a series of questions, who would you prefer, either Morgan Freeman or Samuel L. Jackson?
Oh, Morgan Freeman for me, any day.
And why Morgan Freeman over Samuel L. Jackson?
Well, I'm not saying that Samuel L. Jackson isn't intelligent, but Morgan Freeman is intelligent. I've seen some of the documentaries he's done as well, and I just find him... He's just a fantastic actor, and he's very... he knows his stuff, don't he?
So would you say that Morgan Freeman's voice is very therapeutic, and the way he talks, I sound more like Cleveland Brown than Morgan Freeman. Hello, I'm Cleveland Brown, and I like walks on the beach, and no.
I just think he's still one of the most wanted actors in the world, and he's going to be the president someday. Come on, let's be honest.
He's already been the president in
like 5 times.
He's already the president in our eyes. President Morgan Freeman, we welcome you to the United States of Amy and Ryan.
So who's your favourite out of them two?
I'm going to be a bit selfish here, and I'm going to say both of them.
Ooh.
I like both of them because I like Samuel L. Jackson because he always finds a way to sneak an F word into a film. It's great. He's fantastic. He just sneakily does it. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a PG-13 film somewhere around with him. There's a PG-13. That's a terrible accent. PG-13 with Samuel L. Jackson with his F words. Yeah. So, but then Morgan Freeman just sounds really cool.
Oh, come
Have
on,
you ever noticed?
Amazing.
Calvin Harris kind of sings how Morgan Freeman talks.
Yeah.
When I met you in the summer, when the leaves turn brown, yeah, we could be together, baby. As long as skies are blue. You act so innocent now, but you lied so soon.
Yeah, of course.
He kind of does.
He does.
Wouldn't it be funny if Calvin Harris couldn't actually sing and he just sped up Morgan Freeman's talking? So, in relation to, obviously, COVID-19, I was going to say COVID-13 then. Yeah, apparently it's 7 years old now. What's more important, the doctor or the nurse?
I think they're both important in their own right. I think the doctor's obviously important for obvious reasons, but without nurses around, this coronavirus could be worse than it is. I think they have an important part to play. When the doctors are flat out, they still, like especially in the UK, they do things that they've taken like some of the jobs off the doctors because they've had to.
Yeah, exactly. You have RNs now, which are sort of more advanced nurses. They're sort of doing a lot of the stuff that general practitioners would do for a lot less money. I think they are the backbone of the NHS for me.
Yeah,
the doctors are great, but the nurses and the operational staff are some of the backbones for that, and I think they're the most important part. And I think, there was I was on the way home from work before, and I heard on the radio a nurse who just finished 48 hours.
Oh, that was upsetting, that.
Yeah, and she'd gone into the supermarket to just buy some necessities, and she absolutely flipped. She lost it because she said, I can't find, how am I supposed to stay healthy if I can't even find fruit or vegetables, or I can't buy anything to keep me fit. And she broke down, and to be honest, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking.
Because it made me realise that as humans, we're not a very nice species, are we?
No, not at all. And then you've got like elderly, like men and women, like, and it's just, and we were in the supermarket the other day, and this poor woman had one thing in a trolley. It was upsetting really, because if that's all she had, she would have gone hungry and stuff.
We're fortunate enough in our position that we can obviously afford, if we really wanted to shop a weekly shop in advance or something, or to wait is currently on online deliveries, whereas a lot of people don't have that. They're working week to week, and we're not too far away from that, obviously, but we're a bit more fortunate than they are, and
we can go around in a car
and they can't, and obviously they rely on public transport as well, and if this public transport's cut, what are these poor dears gonna do? Just
take care of your grandparents and your parents, and
if you've got an elderly next door neighbour or something, just give them a knock and just say, hey, I'm nipping to the supermarket, do you need anything? Just give them a hand, be kind. I think Jurgen Klopp specified it really. He said, be kind.
Yeah,
I think that sums it up in these times of hardship. Be kind and thoughtful.
We got to pull together as a community.
I think we do.
Yeah.
So, on to a slightly more different subject. What's the strangest dream you've ever had?
Oh, strangest dream I've ever had. I've not really. I've had dreams, but I don't know. Strangest dream I've ever had.
Have you ever had a dream that you were falling off a cliff or something, and you've fell to the ground, or you've hit the ground and then bounced back up, or you've woke up before you've hit the ground?
No.
No,
not really.
Like that?
No.
Oh, fair enough. The strangest dream I ever had was where I climbed a tree in the Amazon rainforest, and I got to the top of it, and then all the branches fell off the tree, so I couldn't get down. And then I was a bird, and then I flew off, and then I was in the middle of a volcano, and then for some reason the volcano was a talking volcano, and it said that I was on fire, and yeah, and then I was falling off a cliff, and then I fell to the ground, and then I bounced back up, and then it was something that reminiscent of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons where Wile E. Coyote would bounce through the floor, and then bounce back up, and then it was just really strange. There was no Martians or anything involved, but I'll get you, Bugs Bunny. There was nothing like that. But yeah, that was probably the strangest dream I've ever had. I dreamt I was a car once when I used to watch Knight Rider. I dreamt I was stuck in a car, and I was the car.
You obviously don't sleep properly.
No, I think my brain just does whatever it wants sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, if you had to choose one dish right now off the top of your head, and it was either chicken or fish, what would you pick?
Chicken.
Why chicken?
I've never really been a seafood person, to be honest, or a fish person.
No?
I don't mind tuna and salmon, and haddock maybe, but.
Yeah, I've never really been a fish person, but I don't mind haddock, tuna, cod, salmon.
Everything goes with chicken, though.
Everything goes. Well, you could say fish is a chicken of the ocean.
I'd rather chicken. What about you?
You'd rather chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken.
What about you?
See, I'm definitely a chicken guy. Yeah. I know your mum hates chicken. She hates it.
Yeah. She's a fish person all the way.
She gets along with Marty McFly. She hates chicken.
I don't think she could go a day without eating fish.
No, she's definitely a fish woman.
Oh, yeah.
So, another quick fire question for you. If you could have one dog, what breed would you pick and why?
Oh, golden retriever, all the
and
way.
Why would you pick a golden retriever?
Because I saw Airbud when I was about 8, I think, 8, 9, or it might have been earlier. And it was I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's about a little boy who moves to somewhere after his father died. And they're going past this golden retriever who'd been abused by this clown, and they become really good friends, and he helps him settle into school. And I always thought I'm going to get a dog like that one day. And then when I was out walking with my mum today, I saw about 10 of them.
It's almost like fate's trying to tell you something. I
said to my mum, oh, well, I want a dog. But apparently I'm not allowed one until we get a bigger house, because Ryan said no. So.
Yeah, Ryan did say no, because dogs require a lot of time and attention. They're much like children, and basically if you have a dog, you might as well have a child. And
it's my absolute dream dog.
Can you name another film where a golden retriever's been in, off the top of your head?
Yeah, my future film.
Oh yeah, future film, but we can't. That's a side project that we're working on in the background. Another film? I can name one.
Yeah, Homeward Bound. That was another film.
Yeah, no, I can't name one because she just stole it off me. She's read off my pad. I've got a pad here with all my cheat sheet with all my answers, and she's just stole it from my answer sheet.
Go on, what's your favourite dog film? What's your favourite dog and breed? Movie.
My favourite dog and breed and movie. That's
you know
big.
What I mean.
So my favourite dog breed movie.
What's your favourite dog and what breed would you pick and why?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I really like Rottweilers. I like Staffordshire Bull Terriers. Excuse me. I like what other dogs? I like a lot of dogs, but probably the best ones for me are Border Collie. But I've never really watched any films with Border Collie in. I don't know where that film came. That was something you added on, to be honest. I didn't even think about the film concept of it. It's just what dog I'd have. Border Collie for me. Oh, because of Babe. Yeah, the dogs on Babe.
I only say the film because ever since I saw the film, I wanted that dog.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Mine's I don't want to say golden. I'm saying golden retriever now. No, mine's Border Collie because of Babe, and they were cool dogs. Were they Border Collies?
Yeah, Border Collies.
Were they?
An awesome dog.
Because we met one in the vets the other day, and she was lovely.
She's supposed to be one of the most intelligent dogs.
Oh, they're amazing. So, next one then. Please don't take this one the wrong way, ladies and gentlemen, but sausage or bacon?
I hate bacon, so it has to be sausage for me.
She
I
hates
hate
bacon, but yet if
very
I cook
fussy.
it, she eats it.
Yeah, because you cook it the right way. I don't like fat. I don't like it. I don't like it oinking at me. It has to be. I hate bacon.
I don't think I know anyone who eats pork raw. I mean, it'd be pretty messed up. You get like
very crispy.
worms or something.
It has to be crispy though.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I will be honest, she is really fussy. She's literally like, I just need you to cut the fat off because I'm Goldilocks. Da, 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 da.
I won't eat it. If I see any strip of fat on it, I will not touch the bacon. I hate it.
She doesn't like it oinking, ladies and gentlemen.
So needless to say, I don't really have bacon when I go out.
So you're a sausage.
Yeah, I like sausage, me. What about you?
You heard it first here. She likes sausage. That's a relief. Right. Do you what do you prefer? If you had to pick a sausage, what sausage would you pick? Would you pick Cumberland or or would you pick? I've lost my train of thought.
Cumberland's okay.
Yeah, Cumberland, Lincolnshire
Oh no,
sausage.
I do like Lincolnshire.
Yeah, and then what other types of sausages are there?
Richmond.
No, they're like an Irish sausage.
Yeah.
They're an Irish sausage. Irish sausage. Hello and welcome to Irish sausage.
There's loads of sausage. McDonald's sausage.
No, I mean types of sausage.
I know. I like Cumberland.
I like the Italian sausages that they make because some of them got mozzarella and tomato in, and they're really.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you get
nice.
the apple ones with apple and.
Like onion and
red onion, and you get all kinds of cool combinations. I like chicken sausage. Again, I'm coming back to the chicken.
So what, sausage or bacon for you?
I never answered that question, did I? Well, I think I've already answered the question by talking about sausage. I like sausage and bacon. Now, while we're on that subject, brown sauce or tomato ketchup?
Brown sauce. Brown sauce.
What?
Well, it depends.
This is news to me.
If I have a Greg's at breakfast, I have to have brown sauce on it.
We have had a few Greg's breakfast, darling, and you have never ever once. I always say to you, what do you want, brown sauce or ketchup? And you go, ketchup.
I'll have any, mate. I'm not that.
And now you're telling me you like brown sauce.
Brown sauce or ketchup.
This falls down to. This typically falls down to the. Oh well, you're a red and I'm a blue scenario. Typical, as is usual. Opposites attract. I'm a tomato ketchup. You're a brown sauce breakfast girl.
You're a Preston boy. I'm a Bolton girl.
Yeah.
That's just the way
brown
it goes.
Sauce, brown eyed girl.
Okay, so. Yeah, so what about you, red or brown?
Ketchup.
Yeah.
Ketchup, come on, ketchup. We got to catch up with this, yo. Ketchup.
What do you prefer, pasta or pizza?
Or should it be... No, it is right, isn't it? I'm saying pasta or pizza or pasta. I guess pasta or pizza sounds about right. Oof. That's a difficult question because I love pasta, but at the minute there's no pasta anywhere in any supermarkets because somewhere there's somebody sat in a room, in a house, in a one-bedroomed house, laughing their absolute head off with packets of 21 pence pasta on eBay for £50 a pack, going, you want the pasta, you come to me.
So go on, pasta or pizza?
At the minute, pizza.
Because
we had a great pizza a couple of weeks ago from Franca's, and I mentioned it in the first podcast, but it was to die for. It was just the perfect amount of crispiness, and I want a pizza. We've literally not long since been out and had something to eat, and I want a pizza now. Nice one. What about you, pasta or pizza?
Pasta for me.
What type of pasta?
Oh, spaghetti. That's my favourite dish in the whole wide world.
But that's a dish, it's not a type of pasta. What type of pasta are we talking? Linguine, spaghetti?
Spaghetti bolognese.
Well, that's a dish. So you're saying spaghetti is your favourite type of pasta?
Yeah.
Okay, if I said your favourite dish, you'd say spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah. Or lasagna, I do like mid lasagna, but I like spaghetti. Definitely. Spaghetti all the way.
She's spaghetti all the way.
There's a picture when I was like about 3 years old, I think, where I had a Pizza Hut for a party.
To be fair,
it's all
you did
over
say
my mouth.
You did
So,
say that you were a messy bugger in
I'm
the
a
first
pizza.
podcast, so...
I'm a pizza girl.
She's a pizza
I'm
girl.
a pasta girl.
No, she's not a pizza girl. I'm a pizza girl. Wait, what? Doesn't make any sense.
I'm a pasta girl. You're a pizza boy.
Yeah, you're a pizza
Again, we're
girl and I'm a
opposites.
pasta girl. What?
We're opposites again.
We're opposites. Yep, typical opposite again. Well, the next question, and we've not deliberately done this. This just happens to be a series of questions, which it was quick fire questions. If you could pick a couch or a sofa or a lounge, as some people call it, would you pick a fabric one or a leather one?
A leather one for me.
And why would you pick a leather one?
Because the one we've got at home is to die for.
The one we've got at home is to die for. And when this certain young lady decided to move in, she decided to pinch my seat, ladies and
Doesn't
gentlemen.
have your name on
My
it.
seat. I started off, this is how it worked, right? When we first moved in, I started off on the left chair near the window, and then Amy came along and I ended up in the middle seat, and then my father started using the middle seat, so then I ended up in the far end corner of the couch, squashed against it, going, how did this happen? How
That
was
is
I
so not
relegated?
true.
It's like being in the Premier League and then ended up in Division 2.
That is so not true.
You know it's true. Every time I walk in and you're sat there, and if we go out for takeaway and I bring it back, you always sit in my seat. I'm still telling you, nearly 5 years later, it's my seat.
But it doesn't have your name on it.
Just because it doesn't have my name on it does not mean it is not my
I like
seat.
sitting near the window and watching the world go by.
She likes to sit in the window to watch the world go by, even though half the time the blind's down and you can't see out.
Well, it's down when you and your dad are home. When I'm home, I put it right up.
Alright, well, I'd love to know how you reach up, considering Bertha's up there waiting to take your hand
What?
away whenever you... Oh, the look on her face, ladies and gentlemen, when that happened. Basically,
I
long
climb on
story
the
short, she
windowsill.
doesn't like spiders.
I hate spiders. You'd hate spiders too if you grew up in Australia with all the redbacks and whitetails and huntsmans and bird-eating spiders. Oh, it was awful.
Okay, well,
So
so
go on.
you
what's
pick
your...
leather.
Yeah, and what would you pick? Fabric or leather?
See, I like soft touch fabrics. I've got a thing for soft touch fabrics. I just like rub my hands up and down them and just be like, ooh, soft touch fabric. Whereas leather's a little bit animal skinny feeling. Well, it is animal skin, so fabric because it's vegan friendly, I think, for our vegan friends out there.
So yet again, it's the opposite to me. Fair enough. Fair enough. What's the strangest thing you've ever seen?
Strangest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's probably walking through New York. And I'll tell you why that is, because when I was there and I was with my mum and we were walking on my mum, whatever you want to call them, we were walking through New York, through Manhattan, near Times Square, and no one bats an eyelid. There'd be the strangest people walking past you with like spandex suits on, or a man walking past in his underwear and screaming at top voice, banging a drum or something, and nobody bats an eyelid. No one even looks at him. It's like it's the norm. I'm turning around, nearly getting run over by taxi or cab drivers or whatever what you want to call them, and hey, get out of the road, asshole! And I'm like, yeah, and he's pipping his arm. I'm looking at this guy. They're more looking at me standing in the road and trying to jaywalk than they are about this guy who's banging a drum, going hey-ya, 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 ho, and dancing around in his underpants. I mean, that's just crazy. That's the strangest thing I've ever seen. What about you?
I don't know if it was strange, but when I lived in Leicester, there was like a Charlie Chaplin, and he was just walking past like it was an everyday thing, and I just burst out laughing because I thought it was hilarious. And my brothers, I think Sean and Aidan and my mum were with me at the time, and they're like looking at me. I'm just stood there laughing, and he kind of turns around and smiles at me. He was dressed like Charlie Chaplin.
That's kind of cool. I would have loved to see that.
I think he was like in some theatre show or something, but I thought it was hilarious, and everyone was just stood there like, why are you laughing? What's your problem? I'm thinking, can you not see that guy?
Maybe he didn't exist. Maybe it was a figment of your imagination.
I don't. I think my mum and brothers would remember that because they said it was embarrassing.
Well, while we're talking about embarrassing things, the strangest thing I've ever seen happen to me was I was walking through a local town. I won't tell you the name. Lee, a few years ago.
Oh yeah, good old Lee.
Quite a few years ago. I think, was it with my dad and my mum? It was a long time ago. It would have been more than a few years ago. And I had an itchy leg for want of a better word. So my hand was kind of like in a bit of a precarious position behind my back, as if it was like, and I was scratching the rear end of my cheek, for want of a better word, and some guy went past in a wheelchair and he said, "Hey, what's up, lad? Something in your eye?" And I didn't understand it, and I was scratching my head thinking like, well, not with the same hand obviously, but I never understood it, and my dad burst out laughing, and I think it was my dad, yeah, he burst out laughing, and I'm like, I don't understand. He said, "Something in your eye, son," and then a few years later it dawned on me what he meant, and that was embarrassing but funny at the same time.
What did he mean?
What did he mean? Well, if I had my hands down my pants, but obviously outside of my I had my hands outside of my underpants. They were on the inside of the underpants. They were on the outside, so it technically was acceptable to scratch in that area. But I'm assuming he meant, did I have an itchy bumhole? Because he said something in your eye, son. It was just very quick. Actually, that's not the first time something like that's happened. I was doing paintballing a good few years ago with some old friends, and in paintballing you have to wear the visors to protect your face, and they've got like little grills where your mouth is, and somebody shot, and obviously it went on the visor, so I was trying to rub it off and it was all getting all sweaty, so I tried to lift it up and I said, "Oh God," I said, I said, "I've got an itch under my helmet," and the guy turned around and said, "You can get penicillin for that, you know." And I didn't understand what he meant, and then it physically took one of the old friends of mine to explain what it meant, and everyone laughed at my expense. But yeah, so apparently if you go in paintballing and you have a helmet on and you say the words, "I have an itch under my helmet," don't say that, because someone will respond with, "You can get penicillin for that," because apparently I believe it's an STI related joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
But it was funny at the time. You had to be there. So, while we're talking on the subject of books now, we started talking about the subject of books. When you were growing up, did your parents have any type of lemon car, or a car that was a lemon? You know, similar to the one Mikey's uncle sold Everlife for Eva's mum?
Not my dad. Every car my dad had was a lemon, so
Is that because
he'll appreciate that?
Because he didn't buy new cars and he just saw a car and just grabbed it? Or
Pretty much.
it was a look, it gets us from A to B, that's all that matters.
Yeah, pretty much.
See,
he had a blue Datsun, I think that's what you called it. Or, I don't know.
The Bluebirds. They were good cars then.
But they weren't good cars, they were just lemons. My mum would appreciate that.
So he had lemons.
Pretty much.
So you could say Victor Burt sold him a car or two.
Yeah, definitely.
Victor Burt, you're a bad man. Did my dad have any lemons? I think he had one, which we had for a year, and that was a Datsun, funnily enough. And it was a mismatched one. He got it from the next door neighbour. He got it from Gordon, the next door neighbour. I think he paid like £90 for it or something.
Wow. And
it was absolutely falling apart. It had multicoloured brown doors, and it was something special, all right. And we had a Sierra as well, Ford Sierra, but that was like Sierra Sapphire. If he'd have fixed it, it would have been the best car ever. But hey, they cost so much money, those things, and everyone was robbing banks with them at the time.
While we're talking about parents, here's a question for you. Who was a parent most likely to give in to your demands growing up then?
Who was a parent most likely to give in to my demands?
Yeah.
Well, what normally used to happen is I'd go to my mum and say, Mum, can I have this? And she'd be like, nope. Or no, but it'd be ask your dad. So then I'd go to my dad and I'd be like, Dad, can I have this? And he'd be like, have you asked your mum? And I'd be like, yeah. She said, yeah. He went, yeah, all right then.
Naughty boy.
That's what normally happened. But then they'd obviously confer later on.
And then
I'd be the one who'd be I'd be munching on my ice cream or whatever it is that I'd managed to subdue from one of them, and then I'd get rumbled, and well, yeah. What about you?
I can honestly say my parents gave me what I wanted. I never wanted anything.
Sport brat alert.
No, I mean, we were all treated the same. If I wanted to do a sport, we'd do a sport. If I wanted money, I'd get money. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had to work for it. Like, I'd have to do odd chores around the house, but I guess, who was a weaker parent? Well, I don't know. I'd ask my mum, and she'd say definitely no. I'd ask my dad, and my dad would say no. No, my dad would say yeah, probably. But if you ask your mother, so then he'd go and ask my mum, and then my mum would say no. So my mum's the meaner one, I guess. But I'd never wanted anything because I always got enough.
Well, you
Like,
probably, if all that's failed, you probably went to your grandparents, right?
yeah, my granddad just get me what I want. But no, in all seriousness, my parents were fantastic with all four of us growing up, and I never wanted anything. I never, like, I always got pocket money. We all did. If I wanted a CD, they gave me money for a CD. Like, thinking
Fair play.
about it, they were good parents. I can't ask for anything else.
Awesome.
They put me in softball, but they put us all in softball. It's just the way it went.
Well, while we're on the subject of family,
So thanks, Mum and Dad.
thanks, Mum and Dad. Did you ever fight with your siblings?
Did I ever fight with my sibling? Would I do that? Well, in seriousness, I'm a girl and I have 3 brothers. But I did.
So naturally, you beat them all up.
I did fight with one of my siblings, and we still don't really see eye to eye today. And we did have a few punch-ups. Not mentioning, but yeah. So yeah, I guess I did fight with my siblings. Sibling, not siblings.
So you didn't fight with all of them?
No, just one of them.
Oh, okay.
What about you?
Well, I've only got one sister, and she was mean, and she used to beat me up.
That doesn't sound like something she do.
Oh no, she did. She was mean. I mean, she used to she proper threw punches. It wasn't some like fisticuffs. It was proper, like we fought, and when we fought, I mean proper fought, not scratch and pulled her or anything like that. It was proper. It was a proper fight, and do you know what? I think she toughened me up a little.
Well, that's fair play to her then. Well done to her.
Well, what's the worst thing your sibling ever did to you? But try and keep it PG-13.
The worst thing my sibling did to me. I mean, we were quite. I mean, believe it or not, we were a close knit family growing up. Like my brothers were my best friends. All 3 of them. We used to buy Blind Man's Bath, and we used to do everything together. So I can honestly answer that and say, I don't think there's any worse thing they did to me. I mean, we've got issues like the next family, but thinking back at it, all 3 of my brothers were great. And even today, I don't think any one of them had seen me in trouble. Like, I know I don't get on with all of them, but you know, they were fantastic. I love my brothers, so I can honestly answer that and say no. Like, what about you?
Coming back from that, you're like, I love my brothers. My brothers are great. Oh my god, they're so awesome. And then I'm like, well, my sister sprayed me in the polish with she sprayed me in the eyes with polish, with bleach. She stabbed me in the hand with a fork, with a knife. She threw a shoe at my nose and busted it. Oh wait, did I throw a shoe at her nose and bust it? She sat on my neck outside of a toy fighting. It got a bit rough, and she like Rikishi'd me.
So you really don't get on?
Almost broke my neck, and ended up, not broke it, but strained it, and we ended up in hospital because of it. I ended up with a neck brace on for about 3 days. What else? Definitely the polish and the bleach were the worst ones. Yeah.
I mean, my mum tells me stories that her and her sister did not get on at all, but I mean, my brothers fought.
Don't get me wrong, we fought.
Yeah.
But when we got along, we really got along. We were like the best of friends. It was strange growing up. My sister was like my best friend and my worst enemy at the same time.
Still trying to think of that question. I don't think there's anything my brothers did to me.
But we did fight. Oh God, we fought.
I mean, I had my own room because I was the only girl, so...
But then if anyone even tried to do anything to her, I'd want to kill them. And she was probably the same with me, to be honest. I suppose I could argue, what's the meanest thing I ever did to her? I did a few things that I'm not proud of. One particular thing was blackmailing her, but that was bad. That was really bad. But I was a kid and I didn't understand fully what I was doing.
Yes, you did.
No, it was awful. Honestly, I still think I was really bad for what I did with that. And then
Poor sister.
yeah, I know. And then there was another time. I think I snitched on her for smoking, so I was bad with that too. That was a real grass.
Thinking about it, my brother never snitched on me for smoking. Sean, never. Not once.
I don't know. She was only like 9 at the time, though. I mean, you don't want to see your 9-year-old siblings, but that's a story for another day. Trying to think of what else I was mean to her for. I really wasn't mean to her for anything else. I don't think she'll probably disagree with me and tell you otherwise.
I don't think I was ever mean to my brothers. I mean, they were mean to me sometimes, but...
I think we're all capable of being mean, but I think it's all in jest. Now, have you ever fired a gun?
Yeah. I'm firing one tomorrow, technically.
Well, yeah, we are taking out some... We only fire at targets and bottle caps and things like that. Got to point out, it never hurt any animals, never will. We fire at bottle caps and we clean up after ourselves.
And they're not real guns. Well,
no, they're BB guns and rifles.
Yeah, we're taking our dad. I say our dad.
Yeah, taking him out for a couple of hours, trying to get his mind.
Something really.
Yeah, something really bad happened over the weekend. Well, we won't discuss it on here, but it's...
Our cat died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a difficult week, and I just hope that people don't have to go through that. So if you've got any pets,
just kiss them and cuddle them.
Give them a hug and just take them out, give them an extra treat, and tell them you love them, because you might never get that option again. This is definitely a question you've wrote, no doubt about it. Have you ever been in a police car?
Why would that be something I wrote?
I just believe that's something you'd write.
Yeah, I've been in a police car.
What were you in a police car for?
Because I was head girl and I got selected to take part in it was Melbourne Hospital, with kids who were sick and had cancer, plasters at the band-aids, we called them plasters for people who are in the UK. We were just there sponsoring them and cheering them up and playing games with them. And because I was a head girl, I got selected, and it was part of the police force, like Stranger Danger, and it was all to do with that. And we got McDonald's, and the police officer took us there, and that was my time in the police car, and she was really speeding.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
What does that look for? I was head girl.
No, I'm not judging you. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Right.
Have you ever been in a police car?
No, I've never been in a police car.
A liar.
No, I'm not actually lying. I've never been in a police car.
Do you want to tell the truth now? What about those stories
I have never been in a police car.
Alright, so when the police officer dropped you off, that doesn't count?
That was a police van, it's different.
Come on, let's just see. Okay, have you ever been in a police van?
Twice.
Thank you. What for?
Okay, once was because I got caught with my pants around my ankles. Quite literally.
That sounds like you.
That was a teenage thing.
Was you drinking, by the way?
Yeah. You might have had a few bits of WKD. And I tried to climb over a fence and my pants got caught, and I ended up mooning the world, so yeah.
Right, I knew about that one, but what's the second one?
Well, when we were kids, we were with a few people from school at the time, and we went to the Trafford Centre, and not knowing our way home, we missed the last bus, and not knowing our way home, we tried to... Now, this is too stupid.
Oh, go on. You've started it now. We all want to know.
We tried to get home via the motorway
What?
and ended up being picked up by the police and, well, yeah, being taken to, but you know what they did? They didn't take us all the way home. They took us to Worsley, where the roundabout is in Worsley, and then made us walk from there.
Just a punishment.
Yeah, they told us off and said never go you shouldn't be walking on the motorways. But in fairness, if you're a child, you don't know about motorways really.
Why don't you just ring your parents up?
No credit. That was back when you had to have credit on phones, and I was cheap, so nothing's changed there. But yeah, so we ended up, obviously we got dropped off in Worsley, and where the roundabout was. I said, right, you've got to walk that way. I said, don't go on the motorways again. I said, well, how are we supposed to know? There's no signs up saying no pedestrians.
Yeah, that's fair point.
Know, I think we got almost halfway over the bridge and then the signs popped up, pedestrian on bridge. I mean, I can't really remember what they were like. I mean, just thinking about it, it was stupid.
Yeah.
In today's terms, it was stupid, but we didn't realise...
You could have gone the non-motorway route.
But we didn't know it, and we didn't realise the seriousness of the situation, but we missed the last bus, and there was no other way of getting home, and we didn't have enough money. We didn't have the £25 what we needed to pay for a taxi, so we ended up doing that.
You could have just got home and then got it off your parents.
Never ever told my parents that, because they probably would have killed me, so that never happened.
Okay, talking about our book now. If you could ask the Easter Bunny one question, what would it be?
You're asking me if I could ask Easter Bunny one question?
Yeah, everyone loves the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, everybody loves the Easter Bunny. I would say, are you male or female?
Okay, yeah.
And she would probably kick me in the head and say, how dare you?
Yeah, because it's a she.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you?
Can I have a chocolate egg?
And she would say no, because Santa's little helpers need them.
Yeah, but I could be a little helper.
I suppose you could, because she is quite a big bunny.
Here's another one. If you could be Father Time for one day, what would you do?
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say something really awful now, but I've seen like Father Time with his master watch. So I would say I'd play with my clock.
Yeah?
I'd definitely play with my clock.
You'd flick the thing up at the pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see you doing that.
Yeah, because I have a habit of playing with things, so I'd definitely play with my clock.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm aware that's just come across as very, very tongue-twisting.
He's got a pocket watch.
Yes, it's a pocket watch.
It flicks up, open, and...
I'm not trying to be seedy when I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
Although
it's all related to the book, so in time you will understand, but yeah.
What about you?
If I could be Father Time for a day, what would I do? I don't think if I just it's
conceivable worlds.
Would I want to see another world? Probably go to the moon.
I suppose Father Time could have that power, why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, who would you want to play Father Time in an on-screen adaptation of our book?
See, I've toyed with this idea, and it's gone round and round in my head like a million times, and I think, who would I want as Father Time? I don't know. For me, it's a toss-up, and like probably between Danny DeVito and Jim Carrey. No, not Jim Carrey. Sorry, scrap that, because I'd see him as playing Victor or someone like that.
Yeah.
It'd have to be Danny DeVito or see, there's a few, or maybe Johnny Depp, possibly. But then I see him playing someone else in our book. So
you see Victor with him.
Yeah. Probably Danny DeVito.
I see Danny DeVito as Father Time.
And that's not because of the height.
No, that's just because he's such a cool guy.
And he's not done anything in years, and I think I just see him playing Father Time. I think he'd do a really good job. We watched him in a movie the other day, and I thought, do you know what? He's such a good actor.
And if his missus is still acting, we'd love to have her as Mother Nature, because I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, to a couple. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Absolutely. So here's another question. If you could go back in the past, where would you go and why?
That's a difficult question, because there's a few things I would like to do. The selfish person in me would say go back a couple of weeks to when there was the big Euro Millions win and get the lottery ticket for that with the numbers.
There's nothing wrong with that.
The non-selfish person in me would say go back to when I was 8 or 9 years old, when my grandma unfortunately lost her life, and stop that from happening. That's a story. That's a story for another time.
Fair enough.
What about you?
See, for me, I'd go back. Like, it'd have to be before my granddad. See, well, it's a long story, but Cliff Notes version, my parents split up, and for whatever reason, my grandfather and grandmother stopped talking to me, and my mum, but me in particular. And I never got to say goodbye to my granddad or to, just have a last cuddle with him or anything like that. So I think for me it's important to go back to that time just to be able to give him a hug, because I never got that option.
Just to let him know that, you loved him, and
that really
there was no hard feelings, and that you missed him.
Yeah, and that'd be the only time period I'd want to go back to.
Okay, we're kind of leading into the next question here, but
or to get Tesla the credit he deserves.
Oh, Nikola Tesla, that is a scientific. That's an unselfish one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because I think that every creation that has been nicked was his idea, and I think he didn't get the credit he deserved. So yeah.
Okay, well that might answer the next question. But if you could have one dinner evening with anyone who is no longer with us, who would it be and why?
Who would I have a dinner with? It'd probably be... There's so many. Like, I think probably they have to be dead, don't they?
Yeah, or you can kill them after. I don't
know. Okay. Well, alive, I'd have to have a dinner date or dinner evening with Apple Diap, obviously.
Yeah, and then we'd have
dead.
To kill him. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can kill him after. But no, seriously, I think it'd be Enid Blyton for me.
Enid Blyton.
Yeah, she was my favourite author, like growing up, and I think I would just love to sit there with her and just
compare notes.
Yeah, I know that everyone thinks of her, and she didn't really have a good perception in the end, but she still, back then women had to stay at home, and her whole family said, you need to get married, you need to do this, and she did. I'm going to be a writer. I just want to write books for kids and create different worlds and get out my world, because I don't know if she was abused. I did start watching the story, but it's quite fascinating, so I just want to sit down and have a dinner with her personally. What about you?
See, I've got one of two people here, and one of them's more modern, one of them's the older style, gentlemanly generation Rat Pack, and that's probably Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Because I love anything he does, any kind of music. Even Frank Sinatra Jr., I'd settle for that. They were really, really cool guys, and I think they were the last of a generation. You don't get men like that anymore.
No.
And I just love to pick his brain to the music and back to when they were, it was sort of effortless for them.
Yeah.
And he was, apparently from what I've read, he was a very humble guy.
Without a doubt.
And then the other person is obviously Tim Berglund.
Yeah, okay.
Because, to me, he was, though he was my age, he was pretty much one of my heroes.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I carried on with electronic music for as long as I did.
Yeah,
And to be fair, it's been so long now. I mean, I just realised it's not far off. It was his birthday recently, and it won't be far off. It won't be far off till his death day. So it's amazing how much how quick time passes.
Avicii had such... He was huge, and it's sad what happened to him.
I don't think... Well, quite a few people have turned around and said that, you know, he was the melodical genius of our time because he just knew how to manipulate melodies better than anyone.
Yeah.
I don't think that there'll ever be a person in modern times like that.
Exactly. Here's a question relating to Frank Sinatra.
Well,
why is Victor obsessed with Frank Sinatra? This is going back to our book, by the way.
You should point that it is. Why is
Yeah.
Victor Burt obsessed with Frank Sinatra?
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of unwritten. We don't actually put why in the book, but it basically starts off because Charles Burt was obsessed with Frank Sinatra. And he was obsessed with the cleanness and crispness of a vinyl, of a record player, because there's sort of a warmth and a sound, a fuzzy sound that you don't get with any other kind of digital media. So that's why he stuck with it, and all the records that he plays are some of the best times he had sat with his father, just doing silly little things like playing board games or family nights or
watching his dad smoke a cigar.
Yeah, back when they could smoke inside, little things like that, and I think it sort of stuck with him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, why do you think he's obsessed with Frank Sinatra?
For the same reasons you said, to be honest. Yeah.
I think maybe growing up as a young boy without his father, he probably turned to a lot of Frank Sinatra songs to try and get him through bad times. Because Frank sang about a multitude of things.
Yeah.
He's just a really cool guy.
Yeah.
So does Mother Nature really have a crush on Father Time?
Can we really answer this? I mean, it's...
Or is it just a lavender?
Well, you'll have to read the books and find out.
Oh, she's being very tight-lipped on this one.
Yeah. We can't really give that away, because it'll ruin...
I think...
Everyone loves Father Time.
I think everyone loves Father Time.
Yeah, he's just that kind of guy, and everyone loves Mother Nature.
I think actually, yeah, I think he's maybe, yeah. Yeah, I think maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Eddie Romeo and Juliet.
Crush on Father Time. No,
are they the old timer Romeo and Juliet? Who knows?
Never know.
You never know. So another one that people will ask eventually is, because of the complication with it being here, there and everywhere, is either Australian or American.
She's Australian, mate. She's born in Melbourne.
Why are you trying to do the Australian accent again, Amy? You're already Australian.
Did it work though? Did it sound a bit Australian?
You sounded terrible. You're like, you're Australian, mate. Alright, how's it going, love? He's either Australian or American.
She's Australian, mate.
Oh, well, while we're on that subject, love, Marmite or Vegemite?
Oh, come on, Vegemite all the way.
Beg your pardon.
Vegemite all the way.
I think you got your words tied up. What you meant is
Oh no, I've got a pot of Vegemite at home.
Marmite. What? You said Marmite. You agree?
No, I like Vegemite.
Sorry, she's trying to say Marmite, but she can't say it, so she just says Vegemite because she's desperate. Yeah.
It's Vegemite all the way.
Nope, I disagree. Okay, well, while we're on that interesting subject, should Tom Hanks have put that much Vegemite on his toast recently?
Oh my god, did you see it? I even messaged my mum and say, did you see how much Vegemite he put on his toast?
This is a typical Australian thing, by the way. Basically, we were sat in our room, and she looks at a picture on her phone, and the words were something along the lines of, "Oh my god! How much Vegemite does he want to put on that piece of toast? Oh my god!" She went absolutely crazy, and I mean, like, it was a phone call to a mother, a brother, a dad's sister's grandma. You should have seen it. Oh, it was like the world had ended.
But how much Vegemite did he need
to put on? It might burn his mouth.
Yeah, because it's not correct.
Oh, it's not correct. And she even said later on, but it's okay because he apologised, so I forgive him.
But he didn't even put butter on it.
He didn't even put butter on it.
But he didn't.
But he didn't.
I mean, he caked it on. He couldn't have ate that. No way.
You not think?
I don't know. Too much. It was wrong. It should
Tom,
never be
Tom
seen
Hanks,
again.
you're wrong, and it should never be seen again. You have
Yes.
zero excuses for Vegemite that toast to death.
I'm not being funny, but it was it was
Hey,
the front
Tom.
page news in the Australian
I
paper.
know. It was front page news in the Australian paper. What, all of them?
Probably.
All right, well,
It's that bad.
what I'm going to say now, I'm going to whisper this so Amy can't hear it, is next time try Marmite, it's so much better.
No, it's not.
So while we're on that subject, what other weird, yucky Australian foods are out there?
Well, we got rissoles.
What the hell are arseholes?
I said rissoles.
Oh, sorry, I heard RS holes, so I do apologise. What's wrist holes?
Rissoles are like meatballs, but you can put like anything you want in them, basically. My mum used to cook
Can you put a
them.
Vegemite in them?
I guess, yeah.
What about Marmite?
I would never put Marmite in anything. It wouldn't even be in the same house as me.
Well, what if I told you I'd secretly stashed a pot of Marmite in the fridge?
It's up to you, but...
So
yeah.
whatever minging strange things you have.
We have Tim Tams. They're not minging.
Tim Tams are just penguins.
They're Tim Tams.
They're penguins.
Right, but they're called Tim Tams.
Okay, they're called Tin Tams. Tin Tam.
Don't know. That's about it, really. We do the same as England.
Okay. What's the best American food you've had? I bet I know what you're going to say. Bet I can guess.
It's American food.
I bet it's going to be...
The
Let's see if I'm right, ladies and gents.
best American food I've had. I don't know.
She doesn't know the
I've
best
never
American
been to America.
Okay,
so
well,
I
the
don't
best
know
American
about
food outside of America you've ever had.
that. Okay.
It's probably going to be...
The Reese's butter Reese's biscuits. The Reese's.
Oh, peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
I didn't have you pinned for that. I thought you was going to say pancakes. Because pancakes are
But
like American.
Australians are better.
Ooh. Oh, the best American stuff I've had, the Snyders of Hanover, the hot buffalo wing.
They fit them.
No, hot buffalo wing, the pretzel pieces.
Yeah.
Mm.
We can't even find them.
Nope, can't find them now. We used to be able to find them in the Tesco supermarket or somewhere along those lines, but now gone, disappeared.
Okay, what's the strangest overall global food you've had and why?
Yeah, the strangest thing I've ever had, and I'm pretty sure Amy's brother would agree with me on this one, because we went on a holiday to Tunisia and we had an a la carte meal at the all-inclusive hotel we were at, and well, there was a few things on the plate which looked suspicious. One was liver, which I've not been force fed since I was a child. Yes, literally force fed. I hated liver and onions. Blech. And then we had a sheep intestines, literally just, and I thought it was a sausage until I bit into it. And I'm sure Aidan will agree with me here.
Yeah,
it was the most disgusting thing I have ever bitten into in my life. I bit into it, and it was like squelch. And sort of the guys who were walking around the a la carte all looking around, are you happy? Are you happy with your meal? Is everything okay? And I go, yeah, it's fun. And even now thinking about it, I want to vom. What about you?
The strangest food I've ever had.
Even the nastiest. Don't say my cooking.
No, your cooking's great. Strangest food I've ever had. Oh, well, that's easy for me. My granddad went to like Lee Market, and it was I think it was a tongue of some sort.
Ox tongue.
Yeah, it might have been. It was
Like for sandwich.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
needless to say, yuck.
It's literally an ox's tongue.
Yuck. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that wasn't. I took one bite of it and was like, bleh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So here's a question for you, which you'll appreciate. Soaps have paused filming due to the coronavirus. Are you gutted? And why are you gutted?
Boom, 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 boom. I'm heartbroken. I am genuinely, seriously heartbroken. Because at the minute, I don't get to catch up on my favourite episode of Coronation Street. I don't get to watch EastEnders. And then...
Well, it's going to be hard for you because you watch them religiously every single night.
Yeah, religiously,
Yeah.
like Aiden's very religious. Yeah, and Emmerdale. I mean, my favourite show, Emmerdale.
And Holby City.
I like the sheep.
Yeah.
And the farm.
Sheep.
And the pub. Yeah, have you never noticed something about soaps in the UK?
Them pubs.
They've all got a farm, some form of animal, a bit of a rough family in them, like the Dingles in Emmerdale, and a pub. So you've got the fellas in EastEnders. You got I really don't know the ones in Coronation Street. You got Steve Baggins or whatever he's called. I don't actually know his name.
It's like Australia. They're all beach based, even
Yeah.
EastEnders to an extent.
Home and away.
I mean, Neighbours. Sorry, not EastEnders.
Yeah, they're all beach based.
I went to where Home and Away was filmed.
Did
The
you?
beach. Yeah.
Is it
was beautiful.
Is it nice?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like not even anywhere near Sydney where they film, but the beach bit they have to
Well,
drive like 2 hours.
Not
to
when
get
you
there.
watch, Holby City and Casualty religiously. How do you feel about that?
I am absolutely devastated.
You should see her face, man. It's
I know.
it's heartbreaking.
I mean, I don't
The-
even know who Lucy's killer's gonna be.
The tears streaming out of her eyes. Who the hell's Lucy?
That's the last time I watched that EastEnders when
Oh.
Lucy died.
Oh, okay. So I don't even know who Lucy is.
I think it's Lucy.
Okay. What's the strangest old person's names you've ever heard?
My grandma's is pretty weird, I guess.
Are you saying your grandma's an old person?
No, I'm
And
saying
your
her
grandma's name's cool. Our grandma's name is Celia.
Cecilia.
Cecilia.
Yeah,
Cecilia. La 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 la.
we love her. Anyway,
Yeah.
what about you?
I think it has to be Ethel.
Ethel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like a chemical to me. Something that you're like, oh no, don't do that. You'll get Ethel all over you. It just sounds like something flammable. Oh no, Ethel's everywhere. Get a fire extinguisher quick. Ethel's out.
Okay, if you could change your name, what would you change it to and why? Should I ask?
I would probably change my name to something ridiculous like Joe Blogs or John Doe.
John Doe.
Yeah, do we have a John Doe in the building? Well, actually, if I'm honest with you, that if we ever get married, I'd like to change our names to Mr. and Mrs.
See
Hall,
you next Tuesday. Oh.
and then I can be Asin, and she can be Asen, and then it can be Asen Hall and Asshole. No,
You're
I don't know what I'd change my name to. Probably something ridiculous like Bend Over, because I find it hilarious that there is people in the world called Bend Over.
Fair enough.
Okay, next question on the list is favourite memory with your... Oh, sorry, no, I apologise. What would you change your name to?
Queen Elizabeth all the way.
Oh yeah, we love the royals. I forgot about that.
Hell yeah.
Hello, my name...
Aw.
Hello!
Oh, she was so cute in the car when she was getting carted away to Windsor Castle.
Did you just call the Queen cute?
She is cute. She's
Off.
a cute little older woman than me.
Did you see that Amy, darling? Off with her head.
Oh, come on.
She called me cute.
They even flew the other half to Prince Philip to meet her as well. I think that's adorable.
She just called us cute. Off with her head.
I think it was adorable how much.
Did you know he's
they're
actually
protecting
Greek?
him. Yeah, he's a bit Greek, isn't he?
He's a bit Greek. That's one way of
Is
putting
he
it.
not German as well?
No, he's Greek.
All right, yeah.
Calling him German and Greek. Honestly. Learn the difference.
But she was cute.
Okay. Favourite memory with your grandparent or grandparents?
My favourite, I guess my favourite memories are when, like, I used to finish school and my granddad would be waiting outside for me. That has to be the best memory for me. Like, you know, as a 5-6-year-old kid, and you walk outside and my granddad stood there, and then we used to take me to the shop on the way to his friend's house, and he used to say, "No, you can pick anything you want, but don't tell your mother, because you won't eat your tea." Or don't tell your mother because you'll be hyper. I think that was what it probably was at the time. And we used to go to his friend's house. I think his name was Stan at the time, with the bulldog. I think, I could be wrong. He had a huge American bulldog, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And I was always told, "Don't touch it, Amy." But he never used to hurt me. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
So you touch it anyway?
Yeah, I'd touch him. Of course I would.
Typical Amy, never listens to anyone's instructions.
It was just a memory like that. I just loved it. I just loved walking out of school and my granddad would be there. It was fantastic for me.
Sounds like good times.
What about you?
Was that in Australia or over here?
In Australia, but he was, when I used to come home from school over here, he'd be there too. He was close to my mum, my granddad. What about you?
My favourite memory is... I don't have very many, if I'm honest. But one sure memory is obviously being up Scotland with my grandma, which was kind of cool. And another one is when she used to let me go to the ice cream van. Back when Frederick was actually a guy called Frederick. Yeah, that's the story for another day. But yeah, so he pulled down the road and the ice cream man would pull up and he'd open his window. Or actually, no, it was a woman. I said ice cream man, it was a woman. It was a lovely little old dear with like brown hair and glasses and pale skin. Yeah, she was I don't know, she was like Italian or something. I'm sure it was when Frederick's, before they became like a big company. And they used to have these teddy bear ice creams. It was like an ice lolly with ice cream in it. So the red part of the teddy was around it was like an ice lolly, and the middle, like the belly part of it, and its face was like ice cream, like the Billy Burr ham you can get. It looked like that kind of thing. Aww. And she used to get me one of them, even though she didn't have much money. And another time, when she was struggling for finances, and you know she was in a bit of debt, and we were struggling, she didn't have much in the fridge, and she was looking after me one night, and she cut up some marzipan, because she was a really good cook. She cut up some marzipan little pieces, and we sat watching, I'm sure it was Bruce Forsyth's Price is Right on like a Saturday night, and nice to see you nice, and all that, and we watched that, and that's a favourite memory.
Sounds good.
It was.
So here's a writer related question. William Shakespeare or Charles Dickens?
Did you just say Charles Dickens?
I put this on the end.
Oh yeah, she put this at the end. Yeah, Charles Dickens.
So is that your answer?
Yeah, my answer's Charles Dickens because he was a fantastic writer. There's no denying it. Don't get me wrong, William Shakespeare is probably the forefather of current English in terms of the way we write and the way we structure things today. But Charles Dickens for me, because he wrote some great books. You know, Moby Dick, Great Expectations. And then when you talk about something, your mind goes blank. Oliver Twist, of course.
More?
More? No, probably for me it would be Great Expectations. I did that as part of a GCSE assignment in school, and I loved that book. It was awesome. And the film too.
Fair enough.
What about you?
William Shakespeare for me, because just the writing, the way like his English and the way it just interests me. The way they spoke back then and the way they pronounce their words, and it was proper old English, and
Ye
was
Old
quite
English.
it's just fascinating. Like he is, even to this day, he is the greatest selling author of all
what
time.
was your
His class as an author.
Yeah, what was your favourite playwright? Because I'm saying he's a playwright, isn't he?
Yeah.
What was your favourite playwright by William Shakespeare?
Othello? Well, I say Othello because that's what that's what we thingy in school.
La-di-da.
Read in school.
Oh.
He did so many, like
Oh, yeah.
Romeo and Juliet.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
Yeah. Okay, so Roald Dahl or Enid Blyton?
Whoa. Roald Dahl.
Yeah. that's
For
fair
me,
enough.
Roald Dahl. I know you're going to say Enid Blyton, but for me, Roald Dahl.
I read both authors, but Enid Blyton for me. My first proper book was Famous Five.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That was their favourite. What your favourite from her book series?
Yeah, well, she did so many, but my kids will definitely be reading Enid Blyton and experiencing them.
If you had to pick a Roald Dahl book, which one would it be?
James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah, that was a good one, but mine's Matilda.
Yeah, Matilda, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Stick of the
Matilda.
Dump was a good one too.
God, he did that many, didn't he?
Stick of the Dump was awesome.
Yeah, there's loads. Didn't he do the Twits?
He did the
Yeah.
Twits.
Ah, man, that was one of my
Wait.
first. I'm sure he
Wait.
did.
Did Roald Dahl did the Twits?
Yeah,
But did he do Stick of the Dump?
yeah, I think he did.
Or am I getting my
No,
brain
he
crossed?
did. Yeah.
I need to research that. I'm sure he did Stick of the Dump.
The Twits were a good book.
The Twits was good too.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were all good.
Here's another one. J.R. Tolkien or C.S. Lewis?
Oh, for me personally, it's got to be J.R. Lewis.
That's not a name.
C.S. Tolkien.
J.R. Tolkien or C.S. Lewis?
Do I have?
You have to pick one
So
or
I have
the
to
other.
pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not fair. I mean, on one hand, you've got the Chronicles of Narnia, which were like full series of books, which were writing a series of books, so you could call it the Chronicles of the Burp Family Secret. On the other hand, you've got this guy who created a whole world around Lord of the Rings.
And language.
Yeah, but they both created a language. They used to talk to each other in pubs, apparently. I mean, that's pretty cool. Smoking the pipe and doing whatever it is. Legal pipe, tobacco, nothing sinister. Tolkien.
Fair enough.
Tolkien for me. Because, you know, some of my favourite memories with my father are watching Lord of the Rings in the cinemas, reading the books.
I appreciate
I
that.
had one of my mum's old friends who bought me the first Lord of the Rings series. He bought us a full box set, Alan. He bought a full box and I read the full thing and I became obsessed with it. So that was after I already read C.S. Lewis, so I was late to the J.R. Tolkien party.
That's fair enough.
What about you?
I read the J.R. Tolkien books first and then the C.S. Lewis books, but for me it has to be C.S. Lewis all the way. As a little girl, I used to pretend I was walking into my wardrobe and hide behind my clothes just to pretend that there was another world on the other
It's
side
funny,
of the
most
wardrobe.
of my family thought I was going to come out the wardrobe.
Yeah.
That's a poor joke, I do apologise, but yeah, I can see why you'd say that.
I read all the books, I had all the series, yeah.
So who was your favourite C.S. Lewis character in terms of...
Edmund?
Edmund?
Yeah.
Is that because of the Turkish Delight?
Yeah.
You don't even like Turkish Delight, I don't think.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
It reminds me of my friend who died She had diabetes and that's all she could have. Turkish delight. But yeah, Edmund. Oh, there's so many, but yeah, Edmund.
See,
Lucy
mine was
wasn't bad.
Aslan.
Yeah. I always thought, right, the lion was a man.
Yeah.
I always thought
What if
that.
it was? What
Yeah.
if he was? That's why he wasn't around in the manor that much.
I always had it in my head. The man who looked after them was the lion. Was Aslan. I always had it in my head, even to this day.
Well, there was
I thought it
obviously
must
they
be.
made a film out of that, but there was a book wrote around about the similar time frame, which was not really related to that. But did you ever watch a film called Goodnight, Mr. Tom?
Oh yes, that's one of my favourites in the whole world. And my mum had
Goodnight,
even
Mr.
like,
Tom.
that was
Such a good
fantastic.
film. In
It
fact,
was.
so much so when we finish this podcast tonight, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't
a
know you
brilliant
liked
film.
it. I had no idea.
Loved it. Loved it.
What about the Railway Children?
I like that too.
Oh, good night, Mr. Tom. Oh man, that brings me back to
I've
some
got a bit of a
memories.
difficult one to actually ask you, really.
Go on.
And this one is at risk of like offending everyone in the world now.
Oh god.
But it's a serious question.
Pressure.
Is Harry Potter a knockoff of The Worst Witch and The Lord of the Rings, or an original creation?
I think authors get inspired by things they see, things they watch, things they read. I don't necessarily think anyone copies anyone else's work.
Intentionally.
I think intentionally. I think, yeah, she probably did get, it was back where Switch was around when she was writing it. Her kids probably watched it. I'm guessing she got inspired by that because it was a good TV programme. And Lord of the Rings, I get inspired by Lord of the Rings, so I think what she did was an original creation, but she's mixed some of what inspired her into her books and movie, and that's what made it so good, because currently she is the greatest author of our lifetime. No one else has come close. Philip Pullman's like the J.R. Tolkien of our generation, but J.K. Rowling's like the C.S. Lewis of our generation. So yeah, what about you? Oh.
I think she has some great ideas in a book, and I think that helped me growing up, so thank you for that. But the more I watch The Worst Witch and the more I watch Lord of the Rings, I can't help but see where they may have just picked, I'll pick that and I'll pick that and I'll pick that. Like, I can't help but notice the similarities between Gandalf and Dumbledore.
Yeah.
For one.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Kind of Frodo and Harry Potter, they both got a job to do and they're both facing the bad guy alone and blah 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 blah. But probably, sorry, there's just a lid. That's a bit of fizz escaping from a Lucasade bottle. Yeah, there we go. That's sorted. Probably for me, she's got some really good creations in the sense that who'd have thought of something in London called Diagon Alley? You think about it, diagonally.
Yeah.
And then nocturnally. Nocturne Alley. As in night creatures. Nocturnally. It's brilliant.
So speaking about the series I read recently, which kind of made me think, Dumbledore was deaf. Like Snape was the middle brother. Then you had Harry Potter Dumbledore was the last brother, and then you had Voldemort, who was the first brother. The three brothers. So one tried to avoid death, one hid from death, and the other one, I just thought it was interesting anyway, to be honest. Yeah. She could have done so much with the spin-off series, and
she still has time.
Well, that's true, she's still doing it technically.
I will say that the Fantastic Beasts were definitely the better films.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I've got to respect her for this because she's still stuck by Johnny Depp, and he's my favourite actor, from his personal life. And I think, it took a lot of thing to do that because she had a lot of backlash from it.
Oh, definitely.
So fair play to you. And I would have done the exact same thing, so there we go.
If you could do some philanthropy Falabadabadork. No, if you could do some I'll try again. If you could do some philanthropy work, what would it be and why?
Like, I guess if I was like adding to someone else's, it would be James Patterson's. Like, what he's doing in America, he's trying to get libraries and reading and stuff. Really cool, and he's put a lot of money into books. As an author, I think that's very important, and for future generations. But if I was doing my own work, I'd probably, like, I know it might sound bad this, but you have to start from your own neighbourhood. I try and fix my own neighbourhood up, get kids off the streets, get them involved in stuff, because I think kids in our area don't have that opportunity, and there's a lot of intelligent people. Like your old best friend, he was a music producer, and given the right tools, I think he could have developed that, because not all kids are bad, they're just bored. That would be what I do. What about you?
See, I honestly thought you would have said, I'd like to work with Apple the App on something. I had this thing in my head that you like him for his P-word work. I'm not
Philanthropy.
Gonna, yes.
I do like that.
Yeah, that one.
I love what he does in the Philippines, though, but that's what I mean. He's even said himself, you have to start in your own backyard, and Will.i.am's another one.
Yeah.
What he does, in his local neighbourhood, he's done so much to STEM. I believe it's in colleges over here. He did that with Prince Andrew. Not talking about the royal family here, but yeah, he's done a lot of work.
Why do the royals always come into every podcast?
Because that's what he did.
But we literally talk about the royal family in every podcast. And it's like,
yeah. So go on, what philanthropy work would you do?
Me, I'd try and get a lot of work in Africa with the dehumidifier systems, but they run off solar panels, and they create water out of humidity. So they basically draw the moisture out of the air, filter it, and then they've got water to drink. That's what I'd like to be involved in, so that villages have all got their own water source. I think I'd like to help there.
I think also I'd probably get homeless people off the streets.
That would be helping from home, really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, genuine homeless, not the fake ones that we see standing with the boards outside of traffic lights waiting for people, and some of them that are laughing at the end of the day saying, I earned £180 today tax free, what did you do? Yeah. Not those guys.
No,
the genuine type who actually need help.
Definitely.
If you could climb any mountain, which one? Climb any mountain, which one would it be and why?
Mount Everest.
Mount Everest?
Yeah, Ben Nevis.
Why?
I don't know. I'd have to be very fit to do that, because it's Mount Everest, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it's the unconquerable peak. It's the top of the world. Yeah. It's as high as you can be without being on an aeroplane.
Right, so...
Or a space shuttle.
Why not just go to the top? What about you? Ben Nevis is another one.
Ben Nevis, because I stayed at the foot of Ben Nevis with my grandma in one of my favourite childhood memories, and I always said one day I will walk up that mountain. I never got to do it yet.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm fit enough at the minute.
So Coca-Cola or Pepsi? That is a question.
Everybody knows I absolutely adore Pepsi.
No, I know that's a lie.
Would I lie to you?
I have never seen you drink a full can of Pepsi or even touch Pepsi. You're quite like my mum in that respect, because my mum hates Pepsi.
No, let's not be brand hating. It was just, what do you prefer, not what do you hate.
So what would you prefer? The truth now.
I absolutely adore Pepsi. I think it's a fantastic drink, but Coca-Cola is better in every way.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you there. I can't disagree. So here's another one.
Do you know, just off random topic, who created the original formula for Coca-Cola?
No one knows, do they?
Yes.
I don't know. Who?
Nicholas Pemberton.
Oh, I like that name, Pemberton.
Is it Nicholas Pemberton? I'm going to have to read. I'm sure it's Nicholas Pemberton. Or was he the guy that bought the formula? I'm really not sure now. I think it's Nicholas Pemberton, but yeah. So yeah, back to Amy.
Okay, so do you think Donald Trump will get another term?
I mean, it depends if the British public vote him in, you know.
Well, that's true because it does affect us.
Wait, what? Oh, you're actually agreeing with me? I was being
Yeah, I know.
sarcastic, and
But whoever the American president, that does affect the whole world.
I suppose it does.
Because it means, do we go to war? Do we not go to war?
Yeah, I suppose if we got Hillary, and then we're all done
Thank
for.
you, Trump.
Yeah.
Because you've not. He's the first president in what? For many moons who's not been to war yet. Touch
Team
wood.
America.
We're in a war with the pandemic and the virus, but not.
We're at war with a pandemic and a
Yeah.
virus, yeah, and the media at the
So
minute.
do you think he'll get another term?
I think he will get another term. Because I think despite all his cookiness and his unpleasantries and his secretly banging porn stars behind closed doors, I think he has a lot to offer the American people. I think he offers hope when in a time where there might not necessarily be hope. That's what I think. I think, yeah, he will get another term. And, you know, for a 74?
Well, yeah, however old he is.
I really don't know, 74, 75. I'm sure he's around that age.
Mm-hmm.
The guy just doesn't seem to get any older, really.
He doesn't sleep much. Barely sleeps at night. And
Sign of a leader. I do think he'll get another term.
I mean, it's no, like, I don't hide the fact I love Donald Trump. I always have, always will. He's inspirational to me, and like I've said in different podcasts, you know, when I become president, and I take that even in, like, my dream career, when I become an author, because I think that's a very strong word, I think he'll get another term, and I think Americans are lucky because they actually got a leader who...
They have a strong leader.
He loves his people.
But the rest of the world don't seem to see that. The media, you know, Mr. Trump, the media are really respectful. Even the own American media, they don't say the president. It's all Mr. Trump thinks that.
And Obama was this and Obama was that.
It's President Obama, but when it's Trump, it's Mr. Trump.
And actually, before, which is quite sad, but before this pandemic set in, he was the first president in over 50 years, I think it was, where the what am I thinking
GDP.
of? Yeah, was high. It was like, it's stupidly plus. He'd got it that good because he's a businessman.
But we do have to point out that he started turning the tide on the climate thing. It was getting a bit ridiculous, the amount of pollutants America had started putting out again.
Yeah.
They have to have a balance, and I think he needs to realise that sooner or later.
Yeah.
Although that being said, Greta isn't necessarily right either, but that's a discussion for another day.
Well, they do get on. We all know that.
Oh, they're best friends.
I know. And
Best
Putin.
buddies.
I mean, they love her.
Oh yeah, they often take
They
her out for
respect
tea.
her. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, here's a question. Do you think Mexico needs a wall?
Mexico probably needs a Mexican wave just to, you know, lighten the mood. But then again, Mexico doesn't really have many cases of this COVID at the moment. Aren't they actually asking Trump to finish the wall so they can keep the Americans out?
It's quite funny the way he's done it, because he actually promised the Americans that he'd build a wall and Mexico would build it, and Mexico are building the wall.
Didn't he say Mexico would pay for it?
Yeah, and they're building it.
So they're paying for it and building it. Yeah, but you know they'll just build tunnels underneath it.
Probably.
They're not
Don't
daft.
know.
These guys, you got to give them more credit than what you're giving them. I think they'll be building reinforced tunnels underneath and train tunnels and all kinds of things.
To be honest, though, I was this is another series, like, and it will come out eventually. I was actually studying illegal aliens and how they get across and, like, what they go through when they get to America. And I think it's dangerous if they do survive the actual thing, but then they're not recognised in America and they have to start from nothing. Some of them live in, like
Shanty huts.
bad conditions in America just to want a better life. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I think they should do it the right way, and I don't think he's wrong.
Some people can't afford to do it the right way because of the immigration and how much it costs. And when
Exactly.
you're suffering at the hands of a totalitarian dictatorship, or you've got, at the minute, I think Mexico has an issue with cartels. They seem to run the country more than the government does.
Oh yeah.
I suppose you could argue the government everywhere is a cartel,
Well,
but
yeah.
in one respect or another. But when they'd rather work for, say, $20 a day and live half a life than no life in Mexico, and it's sad, really.
It is sad. Like, do you think we need a wall in the UK?
Well, we're in Ireland, so I don't know what a wall would do. If you mean an island between us and London, then probably.
For anyone who's not in England, who's not aware of what he's talking about, Northerners have got a problem with the Southerners.
No, that's incorrect. The Southerners have a problem with the Northerners.
Yeah.
And the way it works, and the reason we have a problem with the South, is because for some unknown reason, all the wealth stays in the South. So all the new trains, everything stays in London, and we get all the cast-offs, and it's been that way as long as anyone can remember. So if they built a wall just north of Birmingham, it'd be great.
They're even building that HS2 thing just
So
to
they
help
can get
the
London up.
Southerners,
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of... Don't I have a Southerner? Wouldn't I be more like Southern than...
Well, it's funny you should say that, because my boss is from Bristol, and for some reason Amy and him can understand each other, but sometimes she doesn't understand me. I have to really slow down and talk. If I'm with my father and I've been with him and she's not been around us, she'll come home and I'll be like, "Alright, love, how's it going? Are you having a good day?" And she'll be like, "What? What did you say?"
I'm sure your dad dumbs down his accent for me.
Yeah, it probably does. And I remember when she used to speak to my granddad, which was
God.
funny. She'd be like, "What, mate?"
No, he used to dumb his accent
yeah, he
down
used to
too.
automatically do it. So, but he knew it's because she's Australian and she doesn't understand the rules of cricket. So
Hey, we got on very well, me and your granddad. We used to sit there and watch the cricket.
yeah, and he used to explain that Australia's rubbish.
God bless him. He never got to watch England win the World Cup cricket final, but I'm sure he was up there watching it.
I'm sure
He would have
was.
appreciated that, because he always said they'd never win another cricket World Cup again, so fair play.
Well, while we're on the subject of Australia,
Yeah.
what does put another shrimp on the barbie mean?
I don't actually know, because who cooks a shrimp on a barbecue?
What is a shrimp?
It's a seafood thing, isn't it?
A seafood thing in it.
Yeah.
So for anyone who wants to know what a shrimp is in Australia, it's a seafood thing in it.
Isn't it a bit of seafood?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing we've cooked that's remotely fish-like was my mum cooked, I think it was cod on the barbecue for my, God bless her, my late cat, Socks. And she sat there and would not move from this barbecue until my mum got it off the barbecue, and she wouldn't take her eyes off the fish, meowing
Awesome.
away. Oh, she was beautiful, but yeah.
I'm not sure I should ask this question. Why would someone ask this question? Fair enough, we'll ask it because it's been asked. If you could choose to walk around naked, would you, and why?
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean, we're talking about being invisible here.
Oh right, is that what we're talking about?
I don't know. I'm saying if we were invisible,
Yeah.
then I wouldn't have to wear any clothes, which would be great. But I'm not sure I'd walk around naked.
Well, I think if it was politically correct, I think.
Because I think currently I've got more fat rolls than they have hills in China.
No, we wear clothes for a reason. I think it should stay like that. Although I don't understand why men are allowed to wear no t-shirts and women are. Women have to wear a t-shirt and the whole, like, everything else that goes with it. Why is that fair?
A long story short, because men back in the day had to wear budgie smugglers, and that, I mean, you deserved a reward for wearing those things.
We have to wear bras.
Yeah, but you were. I think the reason why why ladies wear brassieres and some men, I mean, whatever floats your boat, I'm not judging anybody, but the reason why ladies wear brassieres is for support.
Yeah, but it's uncomfortable and apparently it gives you backaches and stuff.
Well, no one's forcing you to put one on, but I'm saying,
It doesn't look good if you
does
do.
does it provide you support, or does it make things worse? Would you say it's actually a difficult question, but it's a question for most ladies here. And if you're listening to this podcast, please give us a bit of feedback on it. Do you think a bra provides support for you, or would you, if you could, just go without?
It does give you support, I think, but it does, but I don't like it. But yeah, it does give you support.
So they do provide support.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, but I did read a study not long ago that said that women who don't wear bras, their how do I put it? Their lady cleavage stays firmer. Whether there's any truth in that, I don't know.
Yeah, or it could become...
Because you're fighting
saggy.
against... No, apparently you're fighting against gravity. But then again, I don't know if you see the tribes ladies. I don't think I'd agree with that one. Because, you know, some of them you could tuck it in the socks. So, no, maybe not.
No.
Another question that I can't quite believe anyone's asked, but okay, let's go for it. Do you think Adolf, I'm assuming Hitler here, really died in World War II? Or do you think he snuck off to Argentina? Oh, it seems to be based on conspiracy theories, this podcast.
Was there a body? Because as far as I know, there was only teeth found, but it could have been anyone's teeth.
Well, he could have pulled his teeth out.
Yeah, he was well in Argentina. It's a well-known fact.
But
He was preaching his thing in Argentina.
How do you think he escaped? Because I know they had a big German colony. Yeah, but how? How and where? He didn't disappear on a ship. I mean, was it a U-boat?
Yeah.
Did he go underwater?
He probably went on a U-boat. He was Hitler.
True.
But he probably did a deal with them.
I'm guessing he probably went a few weeks before the end of the war.
When he knew that he was
losing.
Like, put everything that he did aside. He was, I don't know, was he a good leader? He was, in a sense. He cared for his people, but he wasn't a good leader in any other respect.
See, I don't think
didn't start.
I don't think he cared for his people as much as you think, and the reason why is because he was very deceptive with what he did. For instance, did you know that every German family was paying into a system, and basically every German family paid 5 Deutschmarks per week, and they got a little booklet that got stamped at the end of every week, and they paid 5 Deutschmarks, I think it was a week or a month. And after 5 years, every family would receive a family car, which was going to be the people's, which was Volkswagen, which was the people's Volkswagen. It was going to be called the Beetle.
Did they get a car?
And at the end, well, the irony is, before the end of the 5 years, what Hitler and the company was doing was using the Deutschmarks that the German people were putting into it and preparing for war, building things like ships and planes and guns, ammunition, bombs, all the other things. They were using it for that. So in the end, the German people never got their car, and they ended up going to war. So I don't think he cared as much as you say he did.
But he didn't start these gas chambers. Anyway, Russia did. In Italy. They were worse leaders probably than him.
Who initially started off these chambers? You're probably right in saying it was the Russians, the old Russians. They started it off, but the Germans certainly took it to the next level and finished it. And, you know, even to this day, it horrifies me.
Yeah, that's true.
So, although he probably might have had some right ideas, he went too far in the extreme and went the wrong way about it. There's caring about people, but the other at the time, half of his population was probably Jewish. Same with Poland and all the other places. I mean, what did they do other than have a different religion? He assumed because they had the businesses and they were successful that they were the problem. But it might not necessarily have been that way. It might have just been that the Jewish community, much like the Asian community in our area, they tend to stick the wealth together. They look after each other, they look out for each other, and that's a difference.
That's true, yeah. Here's a question for you, and you'll like this one. Do you think all religions seem to share the same basic elements?
Well, to a degree, yeah, I would. I mean, if you look at Buddhism, it's one God. Or one form of God. If you look at Hindu, you've got a few gods in Hinduism.
Yeah.
So that one's really not it doesn't sit in that mold. But then you've got Islam, where there's one God. You've got Christianity, where there's one God.
Judaism,
one God.
Buddha.
Yeah, you got the Buddha, so saying one God. So Buddhism, one God.
Yeah.
So do they all share similar elements? Well, yeah, they
People
have someone who enlightens them. You know, they all provide faith in one way or the other. They all preach calm and to a degree preach peace. unless you really look into it. But there's different types of religion. You know, you've got Wahhabism, which is the extreme version of Islam, but that just completely dictates everything out of the Quran the wrong way, which I don't agree with. But there's extreme versions of Judaism as well, just as there's extreme versions of Christianity.
Yeah.
There'll always be the extremes of the world, but yeah, they do share some same basic elements. What do you think?
Yeah, I've got to agree with what you're saying. I think definitely, yeah. So, here's one. What do you think the world will look like in 200 years' time?
Well, I don't think there'll be much that's changed in 200 years' time, but your great-great-great-granddaughter is pretty fine, and will be living underwater.
Bastard.
Damn, I was busted. No, I really don't know the lyrics to that one. It's probably year 3000, that one.
Yeah, it is.
'Cause I've been to the year 3000. Not much has changed, but we're living underwater. Wait, so nothing's changed, but we're living underwater. I mean, that's a bit of a cliche in itself, don't you think? Not much has changed, but we're living underwater.
Yeah.
I'd say a lot's changed there, my friend. And your great-great-great-granddaughter is pretty fine. It's like great-great-great-granddaughter. It doesn't span over 3,000 years. I mean, unless they're living till they're 1,000 years old now. That's like 10 generations removed. But hey, what do I know?
I mean, if we look at what's changed in the last 200 years, because a lot has changed.
Well, if you go off it, okay, let's take a trip down memory lane. Let's go back 200 years. What existed 200 years ago?
Horse and carriage.
Yep, there was no cars, no trains,
No motorways.
no planes. There was ships, yeah, there was no motorways.
Yeah.
It was cobbled roads.
Yeah. There was more greenery, more farms,
Yeah.
especially in our area. It was all
It
farm.
was all greenery, it was all
Yeah.
forest or
Yeah.
woodland.
But then there was the sanitation wasn't as good.
No, it definitely wasn't, unless you
mean-
were Romans.
Yeah, you had stuff like
So you had more disease and
Yeah.
famine back then.
yeah.
But if you're talking about progression, you know, in 200 years we've had trains, we've had planes, we've had faster boats, we've had cars. You know, 200 years ago cars didn't exist.
We have toilet paper.
Got toilet paper. Well, actually, no, we don't have toilet paper at the minute.
Yeah, scrap that.
Bear with me a sec. I'm just gonna. Oh yeah, there's another piece of toilet paper. Well, it's a piece of paper, but it'll do because we're desperate.
I mean, we have toilets now.
Yep, correct sanitation. We've got clean
Housing.
water,
Yeah,
housing,
it's better.
solid housing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, you've got flame-proof materials. You wouldn't have had it then. You know, we've got lighting. We've got LED lighting. You've got one light that lasts 25 years.
Telephones.
Back then, yeah. Oh yeah, we've got a
For
lot.
communication, yeah.
So what do you think we'll have in 200 years? I mean, all right, let's take it back 40 years. We didn't have laptops, we didn't have mobile phones, mobile cellular devices, so a lot's changed. So potentially a lot more could change in the next 20 years.
I mean, it's crazy because a robot is going to Mars. They're sending pictures back and digging,
Yeah,
for
that's
soil
pretty
facts
cool.
from Mars. I mean, that's that's amazing in itself, I think.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting to that time of night where the questions start getting absolutely ridiculous, but if the questions are on paper or they're on an email, I'm going to ask them, so... Right. Are you a silent farter, a squeaker, or a bumble rumble? What? So, I'll ask that question again. Are you a silent farter, a squeaker, or a bumble rumbler?
I'm a silent farter, me. What about you?
Do you want to? I think you'll find you're all three. I think she has this amazing ability to just be able to do it on demand. So it'd be like a, or sometimes it'd be like a full on like. Sometimes I'll go to the bathroom away from the room and I'll just hear the house vibrate and I'll walk in and be like, did you just let one go? No. Me personally, I don't, because I'm like Kim Jong-un.
You're right.
I don't have
You're all three too, so don't even...
Actually, no, I can't do I can't do silent ones. My I'm always
No,
bumble
you're a
rumbled.
Bumble rumble, yeah. Okay, have you ever tried to cover up your bumble rumble with a cough?
I've tried, but I'm really terrible at multitasking, so it's normally one or the other. So it'd be like...
I do it all the time.
She does it. She's great at it. It's like...
Yeah. Have you sneezed and farted at the same time?
So have I ever snarted?
Yeah, basically.
Snarted. Yeah, I have actually, but it's by accident because I've been holding the wind in, and then I've really been busting for a sneeze, and then I've sneezed, like, because in summer when there's pollen in the air, but you've had like a really gassy food or a beer, and it's gone straight to your ass. That's when it's like, oh, and you've been, so you'll go achoo, and it'll just fire one out.
Okay. Well, I think I've established I can cough and fart.
Yeah.
So I can
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever woke yourself up? Have you ever woke yourself up with a fart?
Yeah.
Be honest.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
She has a few times actually.
Have you?
I remember one particular time we were lying in bed and she let one go. She let it go, and she let it go. It was like bang, and then she jumped up. Almost like out of like a semi-comatose state, and she's like, what was that? And then she lifted the cover up, had a sniff, and then fell back down asleep, knocked herself out.
Have you?
No, I've never woke myself up. It's like I never woke myself up with a fart that I can think of.
Yeah. Okay.
So moving swiftly away from wind.
Yep.
Being
We all
blown
have that.
swiftly away from wind.
We love toilet sense of humour. I know.
Amy loves toilet
I
humour.
love
There's a film called Not Another Date Movie.
it. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, is it Date Movie? It's one or
Date
the other. I
Movie.
think it's Date Movie.
Yeah.
And there's a cat called Jinxie on it. And it's on the toilet doing all kinds of farts and little things. And honestly, we cannot watch the 30 seconds of it without howling with laughter. And that's even after like 40 times we've watched it. So, yeah. Watch it if you can. It's hilarious. Now, what books are we going to buy whilst we're in isolation? Well, we're not currently in isolation in the UK yet, but I can imagine it probably isn't far away. So, what books will we buy?
I think I will buy Philip Pullman, the rest of Philip Pullman's books.
So you're enjoying his book at the minute?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
I know you mentioned something about Ransom Riggs' other half.
Yeah,
Saying that
I'd
you
like
quite
to.
like the look of her books.
I can't say I can't say her name. Sorry, I apologise. But yeah, she's one of the most biggest selling young adult
I
authors.
quite
apparently.
like the look of the Danielle Steele stuff, but I think that's certainly different to what I write. So
Who? Danielle
Steele, yeah.
Really? Is that not a romance?
No, she's more crime, isn't she?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sure, she's more crime.
I think I like a bit of everything, so I'll definitely get Ransom Riggs. I'm sorry, I wish I could get Ransom Riggs. He's not out yet, man.
Why would someone add another fart question into the questions? This
Go
is
on.
ridiculous now. I mean, come on, we like toilet humour, but come on. Is there anything you can buy to stop farts smelling?
These were your ones that you put down. I mean, you picked these ones out.
Yeah, I know I picked these ones out, but at the end of the day,
Yeah, that VIP.
yeah, well, that doesn't stop fart smelling. That stops, like, you can spray it in the toilet and it stops your
I
diarrhea.
don't think anything can
I
stop.
believe there's a Febreze butt plug you can buy these days.
Really?
No, I don't think so. But no, I do actually believe there's some carbon underwear that you can buy, and it has like a carbon patch in it, and then when you let wind go, it neutralises the smell. I was actually looking at some on eBay because obviously I have a partner who's got a really smelly bum, so yeah, you can get them.
Okay.
What's your favourite alcohol and why?
Well, unfortunately, I've always had the same problem where I have, I suffer from I think it's called gas reflux, bad reflux. But I could drink half a drink of alcohol, but I've got bad heartburn and it turns into bad reflux.
Acid reflux.
Yeah, and I've always had problems with it, so I can't really drink a lot. I guess it's it could be a blessing. I don't know. So vodka for me is probably the one I like the most.
Yeah,
And
it gives me a
rum.
major headache, but yeah, I can see
Yeah.
why.
But I guess it's shandies because or Malibu, which is not
Non-alcoholic
really an
lager.
alcohol. Yeah. What about you?
Mine's. Can you guess what it is?
Yeah, it's whiskey.
No.
A bit of Southern Comfort thing.
Incorrect.
Boddingtons.
Yes.
Yeah, bodies. I like
Second
bodies.
guess.
Yeah. I was going to say that first, to be honest. This is one. What is your favourite drunk memory and why?
Probably of my old best friend declaring his love for a girl to her father outside a house at like 12 o'clock when he knocked on the door at like 13, 14 years old, and I'm hidden behind a bush with a bottle of Lamborghini, and he goes over absolutely smashed out of his head and knocks on the door, and dad answers and he's like, I love your daughter, is she in? Kirsty, I love you so much. What was her name? Was it Kirsty? I'm sure it was Kirsty. Kirsty. It was. I can't remember her name now, but it would have been funnier if I could have. But is she in? And she was at a friend's house, and the dad found it. Instead of being like angry and annoyed, he actually took it on the chin, and he was like a really cool guy. And he said, "Yeah, no worries." He found it really funny, so he picked up his mobile phone and he dialed Kirsty Cheadle. That was her name. He dialed Kirsty's number, and put him on the phone to him, sozzled out of his head, and he said, yeah, I've got a guy here who wants to tell you something, and she answered because she was at a sleepover at a friend's house, and he started declaring his love to her over the phone, and she was like trying to be nice to him in a way, and she's like, yeah, I'll see you at school on Monday, or I'll buy you this and I'll buy you that, and then we walked back, and then he started sobering up and then realised what he'd done, which was that was a priceless memory. It was brilliant. What about you?
I don't.
You didn't really have one.
I've not really got. Have I had any? No. Like I say, I can't really. I can only drink a certain amount. So for me, I've always had the same problem where I can't get drunk because it's painful.
Okay.
So I don't really have any. I have memories, but not drunk memories.
Okay, so in school, were you an in-betweener, popular, or were you the nerd?
I wasn't anything. I went to the library by myself or under the tree, listening to me Walkman.
So you were the in-betweener because you didn't get on with anyone?
Yeah, I guess that's
I
true.
was an in-betweener. I didn't get on with the in-betweeners, I didn't get on with the popular kids, and I didn't get on with the nerdy kids. I was sort of like
me.
if it was a triangle of people, I'd be in the middle, not quite fitting into any group whatsoever. I'd sort of be looking one way, looking another way, and looking another way, and it was like I can't pick a side.
Yeah, I was like that, I think.
It was hard. I think being an in-between was hard.
I think for me it was just a number of reasons. I was in a foreign country,
Yeah.
my Tourette's was bad. There was a multitude of
So
reasons.
you definitely. I mean, I had it tough, but you definitely had it tougher than I did because you came to a foreign country. I don't know how I would have coped.
It was really hard.
Because you get there and then you come to a foreign country and they're like, "You ain't from round these parts," and everyone sticks to themselves. And
it was alright when I met. So the problem I had was everyone was like, if they'd have put me in the year what age, because of my age and when my birthday was, they would have been like maybe a year older, but that would have been my class.
Got you.
But because I'd been from year 60, like I couldn't go straight
So
to
you
year
almost
8.
had to repeat a year
So I
again.
had to go to year 7.
Ouch.
But I guess my school life and happiness didn't really start until I met my best friend at the time, who I still talk to occasionally, Shelley. She was like weird. She just fascinated with Australia, so it was brilliant. But yeah, and she was an in-betweener too. I can say that because I know she'd appreciate that. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So I don't know.
So you don't know where you were in between. You just sort of
Yeah, I just
You didn't fit in any cliques.
No, no one liked me.
I like you, and I think that's important that you should know.
I know
Obviously,
you do. I love you.
I like
I love
you
too. No, I don't know. It was hard for me. I always struggle with my Tourette's.
What's your favourite adult-themed cartoon series?
Oh, South Park.
Yeah, definitely South Park for me too.
Who's your favourite South Park character?
Oh, Eric Cartman. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Making, okay.
Oh, I love
Eric, who took a Duke in the urinal? Okay. It wasn't me. I scheduled my appointments.
That's true. He does.
That's true. He does.
Oh, it's
Okay.
brilliant.
You think it's okay to drop a fudge dragon in the urinal? Okay.
What I like the most is Trey Parker doesn't. He's not bent to all this society stuff.
No, he just keeps
does what
going.
he wants.
And
Yeah.
they seem to always be relevant. They seem to be one step ahead of the game, which is cool. And
He's brilliant. I can't help it.
oh, back on this shitty walk. Take your water, please. South Park is brilliant, and
It is
yeah.
brilliant.
The Simpsons is okay too, and Family Guy used to be funny, not so much anymore.
Yeah. It's,
Too many cutaways.
Yeah, I used to like Family Guy,
But they just went a bit ridiculous with the cutaways.
yeah, I just
Seth
thought, what's the
MacFarlane, if there's one thing I can recommend, stop with the cutaways on Family Guy and bring it how it used to be.
Because American Dad's okay.
Yeah, American Dad, they don't really have cutaways.
No.
It's great.
Or if they do, they're relevant to what the to there.
To the,
They're
yeah,
not,
yeah, of course.
Like they don't have about 1,000 in one episode.
Well, I suppose at 1 hour 55-ish, this concludes today's podcast. So I'd just like to say, along with Amy, thank you very much for listening to
Thank you.
TBFS 3. And we will speak to you again at the same time next week.
Yes, we will. See you later.
Take care, guys. Be safe,
Bye.
be kind, and look after your family.
Yes, bye.